And that is my lemon chicken, roasted in the oven, baked to perfection. Show-stopping chicken. That's how you bake a chicken. Hey guys, I'm Jamison, and this is how I cook. Have you ever wanted the perfect, moist, baked chicken, roasted chicken in your oven at home? I'm gonna show you a take on a very famous lemon chicken recipe by Rao's Italian restaurant. And this is my version of a lemon chicken baked in the oven at home. And I can't wait to show you how I put it together. Up next on This Is How I Cook. So guys, before we get too far into the recipe and the ingredients, do me a favor, hit that subscription button and turn on those notifications. It really does help my channel. So the star of the show is a young chicken here, and we're gonna clean this chicken. I'm gonna spatchcock this chicken. I'm gonna show you how to open the chicken up and spatchcock it. We also have, obviously, because we're making lemon chicken, we've got 3 lemons. We're gonna use the juice of 3 lemons as well as the zest of 3 lemons. We've got 2 heaping tablespoons of oregano. We've got 1 tablespoon of basil. We've got 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. We're gonna use 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, and we're gonna use 1 tablespoon of black pepper. We're gonna add in our good friend, Mr. Accent, to wake it up a little bit. And then we're also gonna use about, I'd say, half a cup of olive oil. All right guys, before we make our marinade, do me a favor and set your oven to 425 degrees. I've got my cast iron skillet in the oven heating up with it. So you want to preheat your oven and your cast iron skillet to 425 degrees. So I've got a glass jar here, measuring cup, that's sufficiently large to hold my vinaigrette that I'm going to make. And that's going to serve as not only our marinade, but our finishing sauce for our baked chicken. So the first thing we want to start with is our salt. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. And remember, we're using this as a marinade as well as a finishing sauce for the chicken. So you want to have some salt in there to help season the chicken. Next, we'll come in with our pepper. 1 tablespoon of pepper. We're going to put in 1 tablespoon of basil. We're going to put in our 2 tablespoons of oregano, dried oregano flakes. I also added in 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Next, we want to add in our half a cup of olive oil. We want to set that aside. Next, we want to zest our lemons. So to our mixture here that we have in our measuring cup, we want to add in our lemon zest that we made. So with this sauce, you want to have 1 part olive oil and 1 part lemon juice roughly. These 3 large lemons will produce about half a cup of juice. So now we want to take our whisk and make sure that we dissolve the salt. We want to set this aside, and now we're going to start working on our chicken. We want to take off these end tips. So we just want to cut that off up here at the top. If you want to, you can clean this up a little bit and remove the neck. And now we're going to spatchcock our chicken. So to spatchcock a chicken, if you look on the back of your chicken and feel down the middle of the back, that's the backbone or the cork of the back of the chicken. And so what I'm going to do with my kitchen shears is I'm going to come right on the outside here and right on the outside here to remove the back of the chicken. And then do the same thing on this side. That's your chicken back. You can toss that or use that in stock. Now, while I'm in here, I want to make sure there's no entrails on the inside of the chicken. Right here, and then ultimately right here. Now see, there's a little bit right there of some entrails. So I want to remove those. So I can just take my kitchen shears and scrape those out. Anything else you see in here that you want to clean out, you can. At this point, we want to take our chicken and break them open. And we want to put our weight right here on the breastbone of the chicken. And we just want to push down. You'll hear a slight pop. And when you hear that pop, just butterfly the chicken on open, and your chicken should look like this. And this is the time where you want to take a second and inspect your chicken just to make sure there's nothing on your chicken. No pin feathers. Make sure that your chicken is clean. But that, my friends, is your spatchcock chicken. So now that we've got our chicken spatchcocked and our marinade made, what we want to do is we want to pour half of our marinade onto our chicken. So I'm saving the other part of our marinade for my finishing sauce. And you want to just take your time here and let this marinade work on your chicken. So notice I didn't put any water in my marinade for my chicken. As this chicken marinates, it's going to release plenty of water, and that's going to help balance out some of the acidity that's in our vinaigrette. Now what I'm doing here is I want to get all of that goodness, this herb mixture, into the crevices of my chicken. One thing about roasting a chicken is that you want this chicken to be flavorful. You want flavor in this chicken. You do not want bland chicken. So we're gonna let this marinade season the chicken, and the chicken will marinate for about an hour. But what I normally like to do is about 2 hours. But because this has lemon juice in it, it can be kind of harsh on the texture of the meat. So 2 hours is sufficient. Maybe you can go a little bit longer, but I wouldn't do this overnight, because if you go overnight, your chicken is going to be real rubbery, kind of milly tasting, grainy, because the acid in this marinade is going to cook and change the texture of the meat. Okay guys, let's take the rest of our marinade that we had, this wonderful vinaigrette that we made. Let's taste it to see what type of flavor it has. If it's too salty, then we can adjust the flavor with a little bit of water. Mine is a little salty, which is what I wanted, obviously, for seasoning the chicken. But to put on my chicken at the end as a finishing sauce, probably not the best experience. So what I would suggest you do is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a tablespoon of water, mix it around, taste it to see if it has been adjusted enough. And if it needs to be adjusted again, just add another tablespoon of water to it until it gets to the right texture and the right taste that you want. So my cast iron is scorching hot, so we're gonna add some oil. This will help the chicken not stick. And then what we're gonna do here is take our chicken, let the excess marinade drain off. Sprinkle on some more herbs. Make sure we fix our chicken's leg there. This is what happens when you preheat your cast iron. It helps it get off to a great start. Take this and put it back into the oven. So I can already hear you asking, how long does it take for the chicken to get finished? Well, this chicken is going to take about an hour, probably an hour and 15 minutes at 425 degrees. But the easiest way to test your chicken to see how done it is to go and get an instant read meat thermometer and test the breast meat as well as the dark meat. The dark meat, you want the dark meat around 170 degrees and you want the breast around 165. But you can tell because you'll see, hey, the joints begin to come loose, the bones be nice and twistable in the leg, and you'll see a nice brown sheen on your chicken. So we're gonna let this chicken go for an hour, hour and 15 minutes with that high heat going in there, and then I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like. And that is my lemon chicken, roasted in the oven, baked to perfection. Show-stopping chicken. That's how you bake a chicken. Clearly, I'm happy with how that chicken turned out. We're gonna let this rest for about 15 minutes. Then I'm gonna show you how I carve it and plate it. So we wanna carve up our chicken that we beautifully roasted. And so the first thing we wanna start with is coming in here and really splitting in half the pieces that we've got. And so like what I like to do here is I want to prepare this and serve this to friends. I'll probably start with a half a chicken like that, and then come in and remove my leg quarter, and then come across here and cut the drumstick away from the short thigh. And then you can even come in here and cut the short thigh to break that down even more. And we put some of that there on the plate. And then come in here and do the same thing. We want to come and find the joint here for the wing. And just come in and remove that. And then what I like to do is come across gently and break my breast meat down. And then what we can come in here and do is kind of spread that out like that. Give that a nice preparation. And I'll take my wing and lay him there. And our last thing to do is remember our finishing sauce, our vinaigrette that we diluted a little bit to make sure it wasn't too over seasoned. We come in and just spread that there over the top of our chicken. Just give that plenty of love and affection to our chicken. This is what they do at Rouse. They take their vinaigrette and they drizzle it over their chicken. Man, what you talking about? And this is just a beautiful presentation. And there you have it. That's our roast chicken. I'm gonna try to speed through this tasting because I gotta get to this chicken. Hope you guys will make this recipe at home, because if you could smell my kitchen, if you could see this chicken up close and personal, there'd be no doubt that this is what you need in your kitchen at home. So let me try a piece of this breast meat here that we've given a blessing with that vinaigrette. I'm gonna make sure I get my piece of skin here. Oh. Man. Oh. First off, perfectly cooked. It's not dry at all. The spices, the oregano, the hint of basil, the garlic, the salt, the acidity from the lemon. It is exactly, I'm talking about, when I tell you this is amazing chicken, wait a minute. Let me get another piece of this. That little bit of vinaigrette we drizzle on at the end. Man, what? Ah! Ah! Okay. Man, I've made a lot of videos on this YouTube channel. If you don't make anything else, make this recipe. Make this recipe flavorful, juicy, crispy skin, perfectly brown, beautiful. Ah man, you can't want better chicken on your plate. Man, y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. Tell somebody about this channel that, hey man, there's a guy, making amazing chicken that you need to try. I'm telling you, this will revive your marriage. This will save your marriage. This will prolong your marriage. Amazing chicken. Y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. I'm gone, man. Oh.